It is another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the two big new holiday releases of November 19th, 2004. And on a weekend when you had the big screen debut for a beloved character who had only been around for a couple of years, but he was slowly but surely becoming one of the biggest cartoon characters of recent memories, and everyone was really looking forward to his movie. You would think that would be the biggest new release of the weekend, but, nope. Dollar Store Indiana Jones is Nicolas Cage in National Treasure.
Benjamin Franklin Gates, you are undertaking the duty of the family Gates to find the most spectacular treasure in history. It grew throughout the ages and moved across continents until it was hidden by America's founding fathers, who left clues to the treasure's location right before our eyes. The unfinished pyramid, the all-seeing eye, are telling us something. Keeping this treasure safe, Benjamin, is your destiny.
You're treasure hunters, aren't you?
We're more like treasure protectors.
All his life, Benjamin Gates has searched for a treasure no one believed existed.
Don't you get it, Ben? The treasure is a myth.
Yeah, I refuse to believe that.
But what he thought was the final clue
108 years of searching and I'm 3 feet away.
is only the beginning.
The Declaration of Independence.
You think there's a treasure map on the back of the Declaration of Independence?
The map is invisible.
Why would we make this up?
Where's your proof?
We don't have it.
Bigfoot take it.
Word about the map is bound to get out. Ian's gonna try to steal it.
90 seconds.
The only way to protect the Declaration is to steal it.
What?
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Ben?
From producer Jerry Bruckheimer and director John Turteltaub.
It is surrounded by guards and video monitors and little kids on their 8th grade field trip. He will go to prison, you know that, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, go!
Get out of there. Get out of there now.
He's got the bloody map.
The clues of 10 generations
There's more to the riddle.
will reveal a mystery 20 centuries in the making.
Who wants to go down the creepy tunnel inside the tomb first?
Tell me what the next clue is.
What do you see?
Nicolas Cage. National Treasure.
Now, you know good and well that Nicolas Cage and Justin Bertha would have been seen as these Alex Jones conspiracy theorist type of people today, 20 years later. I mean, like, come on. The whole idea, I never liked the whole idea of these movies to begin with, and you think after 20 years I'd finally get to see what everyone had been talking about. Why was this movie such a success? But, nope. 20 years later, I still don't get why the hell this movie was a success. In the film, you have Nicolas Cage playing Benjamin Franklin Gates, a historian, along with a computer expert and an archivist. I think that's how you pronounce it. Archivist. She's played by Diane Kruger. So, anyway, they're searching for a massive lost Freemason treasure, which includes a map hidden on the back of the United States Declaration of Independence. And Sean Bean is in here, so I think you pretty much tell what's going to probably happen to him in this movie. He doesn't die. I'm surprised. That's how much I hate this movie, man. It's been 20 years since I've seen it, since I saw it before, and I just saw it a couple of months ago, and I've already forgotten about it. That's how much I hate this movie, man. I've never liked the National Treasure movies. I don't get why this was the big hit. I mean, why did people go to see this? I mean, was Nicolas Cage really that profitable? Was the name of John Turteltaub and Jerry Bruckheimer... Jerry Bruckheimer I can understand because he just did Pirates of the Caribbean, but John Turteltaub? What notable... did he really reach that point where people knew exactly who he was? He made some great movies. The Kid, Phenomenon, Cool Runnings... Okay, maybe he was kind of there, but I'm just kind of missing the point there altogether. But Nicolas Cage wasn't really that big of a draw in general, so I still don't get why people made this a hit. It's just, like I said, it's a dollar store Indiana Jones with even crazier logic to make the story make a whole lot of sense. There could be a fun idea here if you were just going strictly for a fun callback to like the classic Disney movies of the 1950s and 60s, where you just don't question it, you just go along for the ride. If it was gonna go down that route, I'd probably go with it, but the logic in this movie is presented as way too serious. It just completely is like, what the hell are you talking about, and why are you trying to convince me that this is fact, not fiction? It's like it's the equivalent of watching watching Fox News in a way, except Fox News is much more obnoxious and completely wrong on what the hell they're talking about compared to this movie. But I digress. But I don't know. Like, to me, I just could never really get into these movies. I don't understand why they were big hits. I don't know why this was the big hit in general. I guess because of that Disney edge, the fact that, hey, Disney's got a release on around Thanksgiving, so we might as well go see that, because they were the kings of Thanksgiving for a long period of time. I mean, they kind of still are, but very few and far between. But with all that said, though, it's just, I never really got into these movies, and even like I said, I watched them a couple months ago to get ready for this, hoping that I was finally going to find the thing that everyone saw. I just didn't see it, man. At least with the Mummy movies, the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies, that's the type of movie that I feel like is trying to do more of the 50s, 60 Disney style, let's just have a good time type of adventure movie, and I think it's done better. I think it's a better knockoff of Indiana Jones than this movie is, because yeah, nothing about this movie is interesting whatsoever. It's a lame movie. It's a lame series in general, and let's be honest, I'm kind of glad they never made that third movie, especially now, since we're coming up on, 20 years since the last movie, and even that TV series they did wasn't all that great either. Just my personal opinion on it, but the correct answer for what was the best movie released on this weekend is the next movie we have, and that is, of course, the Spongebob SquarePants movie.
Since the beginning of time, mankind has searched for answers to the big questions. Where did we come from? Is there life after death? Are we alone? But today, in this very theater, you will be asked to answer the ultimate question. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? The SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Bigger, squarier, spongier. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
No, really. Why was this movie not the big hit of that weekend? Why was National Treasure beating this movie? Just why? I don't get it. I mean, the marketing campaign was huge at the time. I mean, Burger King went all in on a thing. They had, like, SpongeBob big, like, SpongeBob floats outside of the Burger King that people literally stole. And Burger King actually offered them a limited, I think it was a year's supply of Whoppers, I think, to give them back. And I don't think anyone ever did. You can probably still find them on eBay, quite honestly. But you know, you saw the commercials all over TV. The marketing campaign was amazing, and it began late in the year before, in 2003, with probably one of the greatest teasers of all time.
Sonar 40, is that sound still out there?
Got mine. What do you got?
What's going on, Jonesy? I can hear. What the hell is it? Splashes.
3,000 yards, closing awfully fast.
Mother of God.
Don't you just love playing submarine, Gary? Prepare to die!
The SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
Captain, sir, you're never gonna believe this.
For a second, I thought I heard...
Heard what?
I thought I heard singing, sir.
Any movie that can use clips from Das Boot, U-571, The Hunt for Red October, and make it work as well as it does there, like, just one of the great trailers ever. So why the hell did this movie not succeed? I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a success. I mean, it did make a lot of money, but this should have been on the same level of the Rugrats movie. Like, it should have been a film that made over $100 million. It should have been... but it was one of the few 2D animated movies that actually made a profit in 2004. Because, again, this was around the time when the 2D animated film genre was kind of dying out and CG was taking over. But yeah, it's enough talking about the box office results. What about the movie itself? So, the story here is that Spongebob is eagerly awaiting to hear the news that he's becoming the new manager of the Krusty Krab 2, built right next door to the original. But Mr. Krabs isn't giving the job, giving it to Squidward, mostly because he feels that Spongebob isn't more of a kid than a manager. Things take a turn when Plankton unveils his latest plan to steal the Krabby Patty formula by framing Krabs as stealing the crown of King Neptune and taking it to the Forbidden Shell City to save the day. Spongebob and Patrick take a road trip to get the crown back and stop Plankton from taking over the world, of course. And like I said before, I was the ultimate SpongeBob fan back in the day, and I was really excited when this movie came out. And this was, like I said, this was around the time when I saw this. I went to go see movies on my own. And I saw this movie 6 times in the 6 times in the theater. 5 times actually. 6 times was the Simpsons movie, but we'll get to that one later on. But I mean, I was really excited for this, and it's a great movie, man. Like, it's a movie that has held up well over time. The animation is really good. They really did put the time and effort to give this movie a bigger theatrical feel to it, unlike some of the other movies that we talked about from Nickelodeon that were basically just things that were taken originally from television and then blown up for the big screen when clearly they weren't meant to be that way. I think the jokes and the comedy are very good. The voice work is great. You got Jeffrey Tambor as King Neptune, Scarlett Johansson as his daughter, Mindy, Alec Baldwin, who plays the hitman trying to kill SpongeBob, is really cool. David Hasselhoff having the time of his life with this. I mean, I like how they managed to put them in there in terms of story and comedy. The comedy is such incredible fun stuff. Quick one-liners all over the place. It's just a great movie, man. The story is really good, too. It's not just from the level of a great feature-length tale, but also it does manage to teach you good, hard lessons about life. Like, it's the main conflict in the movie is that SpongeBob, you know, he's the hardest working person there, but he doesn't get the job as a manager because he still acts like a child, even though he's clearly an adult. And throughout the course of the film, he proves that he's more than capable of tackling something bigger than what everybody thinks he can. And by the end of the movie, he does give that speech about how desperate, despite being who he is, he's still capable of handling a big adventure like the one he went on. And the ending moments of the film are just well done. It's important to keep in mind that this was originally supposed to be the end of the series because essentially Steven Hillenburg wanted to end the show, but Nickelodeon kept him going, and the series has continued to go ever since. And honestly, if the series had ended at this point, this probably would have been a great way to end the series in general. But I don't know, maybe this is still technically considered the final episode. Like, they'll still continue to make them, but when the show finally ends, they'll just say, hey, this movie's supposed to be the official finale. But I don't know. I don't know if Nickelodeon would ever do that. Kind of like with The Simpsons. Like, The Simpsons will probably never really get canceled, but as long as it's still entertaining, I'll still watch it. It's like that with The Simpsons, too. I think The Simpsons is still very entertaining after all these years. SpongeBob can still be very entertaining after all these years, too. And, yeah, I'm still a SpongeBob fan, and I was definitely looking forward to this back then. I still think it holds up very well. It has actually held up better over time when you really look at it. It's still a great movie. It intends to do that job, and it does it very well, and has led to mostly pretty good movies. Mostly, except for the spin-off film that just came out recently, Saving Bikini Bottom. But if you want to learn more about that, I actually just did a review for it on talking about the movies, which you can go ahead and take a look at the corner right there. And yeah, so yeah, avoid that movie up there. But the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is a great film. And so with that said, we'll wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, and the next time we meet, we'll take a look at the actual Thanksgiving weekend of 2004 with Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis in the holiday comedy Christmas with the Cranks, which is still very much debatable whether or not Surviving Christmas or Christmas with the Cranks is the worst Christmas film released in 2004. Some people say it's this one, some people say it's Surviving Christmas. What do I think? It's a very tough call, but we'll get to that one. And also, we'll have Oliver Stone with Alexander, which was kind of the movie that began his inevitable downfall. But we'll take a look at both of those movies on the next episode. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the place on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. So, with that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.